Strappin. It is the Steinhart Ocean 39 Vintage GMT Premium, and back on it today. And again, these aren't reviews, just a watch of the day with strap paired with it. And today it is on a what's called this pattern or color is called Spitfire from cheapest NATO strap. It's a single pass, which I prefer. I don't see the point in a double pass. I really don't. They should start making more NATOs just like this. Very simple, but I like the coloration. Something about I didn't think something this I guess might be considered busy would work, but I don't know, it does. And I think it works well with this. The reds and the blues go well, and then this kind of gold or khaki color that's a thin stripe that's in between the blue and reds. That kind of works with the faux aged radium loom color. And of course there are some bits of black accent obviously, so the blacks are appropriate, and I suppose the gray sort of matches steel or silver, right, of the watch case. Either way, I think overall it's a handsome combination, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, these don't cost too much. Cheapest neo strap, and if you buy more, usually you get extra discount. I think 20% off if you get 5 or more over your. So yeah, definitely worth a look at. I guess those who know that I've been contemplating between this and the Squale 1545 30 Atmos blue red Ceramica GMT, that other one that I have, it's actually right here. I'm still debating which one to keep, if not both somehow. I really do like the attention to detail on this one. This one's again more towards the very first Rolex GMT Master reference, the 6542 with the Bakelite bezel. This is not Bakelite. This is ceramic, but it's overall the what do you call it? The case without the crown guards, door lug holes is a plus. The faux patina, just the older style of the smaller GMT hand and everything. Just that look, the H look is supposed to match it pretty darn closely, but there are some differences between this and that. Not an oyster case, obviously. Different bezel. They have a somewhat coinage-like bezel. It's flatter, a bit thinner, and those have a kind of a box dome sapphire crystal, I guess you could call it. That's probably acrylic, but the way the dial looks like, and I think and the jumbo-sized crown, I guess, on that, I think is very similar. But I do like how this has the fine details, such as the outer circle that makes the, I guess you can call it a half track on the minute or seconds, depending on how you want to count that. And how the hands, like the second hand, you see it just touches that line perfectly. And also you'll see the minute hand touches all the minute markings. And the GMT hand also reaches all the way to the outer edge as well, which is actually a pretty nice feature, that to see that arrow reach so close over, and so it's it's pointing as close to the GMT bezel as possible, versus, I'll show you the other one. But just to get back to the hands, the hour hand also touches the tip, the ends of the 12, 9, and 6 marker. Kind of hard to tell, but you can imagine if it sweeps down, it just touches that too. So there's actually a lot of precise proportions and lengths, and the way everything kind of touches and interacts with each other fairly precisely. Versus, let me grab this guy real quickly. I really like the colors on this. It really pops. and added high polish in the Jubilee and around the edge here at the bezel. It's a nice looking watch, that's for sure. It really gives a nice presence on the wrist, but this doesn't really have that outer track, that thin circle that goes around on the outside of that one. Not a big deal, but I kind of like the way that's done. I guess the edge of the rehaut kind of acts as that, which is fine. Has applied indices. There is something nice about that gold that's in the indices and the hands. It's that extra pop. That blue, red, and yellow-ish. I guess you can consider those primary colors. They work nicely. I think it's a thing that's coming back right now. I've started to notice it in a number of watches. Not a hell of a lot, but here and there. Swatch has been doing some stuff with that, which I kind of like, but I don't buy too many swatches these days. Pretty picky about that because you can't service them, and yeah, no strap options. But they do make some cool ones. I made a Seiko mod with some red blue accents, and I'm just in this phase of this liking these primary colors, basically red, blue, and yellow, or red, blue, and I guess gold, kind of the same thing. And in a way, this reminds me of a lot of Japanese anime, just because of that added yellow, especially, and the bright colors, brighter colors compared to this one. It just looks like I'm thinking of Gundam. This is not the Gundam GMT like that Seiko Prospex LX GMT, which is super cool, limited edition, but it was over $4,000. You know, it has spring drive and all that. But now I think they maybe have sold out, or whoever has gotten their hands on them, they've been selling them on the secondhand market for like over $8,000, which is nuts. But that's probably my favorite of the new Seiko line. But anyways, colors. Yes, just if you know Gundam, you're a fan of anime and classic stuff like Gundam, you know that that robot or mobile suit armor or whatever you can call it does in fact have like these bright blues colors, and there's red and there's yellow or gold, you can consider it. And the indices and the numbers are very white, so that's another color that's in there, and black and silver probably in there as well. But just that kind of color combination reminds me of that. I think of Gatchaman or Battle of the Planets. There's one of the main characters of these ninja scientists. They're dressed like birds. He's is it Mark? No, that's the other guy. I think it's Mark actually. Anyways, the one who's in white, and he's got like a lot of blue accents, and I think he's probably had red and gold mixed in there into the suit color as well. And I'm sure there's some other ones I'm kind of forgetting right now. Technically Optimus Prime. He has blue and red as a color, and at least in the original toy release, his eyes were gold color or yellow, but basically they were kind of that color scheme. They weren't blue like in the animation, the cartoon series and the comics, but the toys originally had yellow eyes on them. Yeah, they never actually matched up with the blue or red eye colors of the Autobots or Decepticons in the toys, but that's another topic. And there's a bunch of others, so that's why I kind of like this one. I guess this is a double semi watch U Strappin. This would be on my other wrist right now, but I'm just showing it to you right now. I'm trying to gauge which one I like more. Very tough. Both good qualities. The only thing that this one is a bit disappointing is the lume. The bezel is excellent. It actually holds up quite well, and it's the strongest. But then the dial is next, and then actually the dial and hands are about the same roughly. They are noticeably a bit weaker than the bezel, unfortunately. It is just legible at night, but that minute hand in particular is, because it's so thin, that is the hardest to read at night. I can make it out. You see this faint shape or line, I guess, or in the darkness that just barely visible, and I can see it, but sometimes, especially when they're overlapping the hour hands, it does become harder. And I just have to assume that it's like, say, if it was up here, it's roughly 9:50 ish, probably in the morning or night. But I probably wouldn't be reading the time at that time, at that dark. So if the hands, hour hands, and minute hands overlap somewhere around the opposite side, like by the 2, that probably means like around 2:10 a.m. Again, I can just barely make it out. So that is the most disappointing thing about this. I'm trying to get over that if I can. And if I can, I will keep this. But if I can't, then I guess I'll have to part with it. So I feel funny keeping two Pepsi GMT style watches, but they are quite different. There's no doubt they have a totally different feel and look to them, even though they're related. This is like the very most modern as of 2019. Related to like the Rolex Pepsi GMT Master 2 on the Jubilee stainless steel. It's very close to it. It's not exact, of course. Like the color of the bezel is a little bit different. I think they have a deeper black dial. They don't have gold. And probably some subtle nuances with the case and bracelet. And of course the movements are different too than the Rolex. That has a true GMT where you can jump out of the main hands instead of in the second position, versus this moves a quick set date and the GMT hand, which isn't as ideal. I'll go into GMT movements later. I think it's worth a discussion on why I like one over the other. But anyways, tough decision. Which one? I gotta figure out something. Or if I keep both, then I'm gonna have to hustle on selling some other stuff, which I am. Okay, this video is getting kind of long. It's been more than just watch U Strappin necessarily. A little bit of it's not a rant, but just random thoughts. And anyways, hope you like this pairing. I think, there's no doubt this works pretty good. I did try this. If you look back a couple videos on this one, it works too, but I don't think as well as this, just because this is darker red and blue, which is this seems to match in that tan color, thin stripe, sort of goes with what's going on with this watch versus this one. I mean, that tan can relate to the gold a bit, and the red and blue obviously, but these are a bit brighter than that. But it can still work. Although I think between the two, this Spitfire works a little bit better on this one. But totally doable here. But one more thing I want to add. I think between the two, to justify maybe having both, this looks, I think it's best on the bracelet. It's just because it's so new and shiny and a bit blingy. And I'm not usually into that, but something about this combination is very attractive to me. That's why I'm still hanging on to it. I think it looks good on the bracelet. It would be fine on a NATO, maybe like a Bond or some two-piece leather strap, and maybe even a rubber strap. Actually, I think I did put this. Did I put this on a tropic strap? I think I might have at once. I go back in my videos. Yeah, I think it all works, but it does look best on a bracelet compared to this. It doesn't look bad on a bracelet, but this can, because of this vintage look, I think it lends itself better towards other strap options like a NATO, probably some single colored ones, and some more distressed style of leather straps. And of course a tropic strap would be pretty nice on this as well. Yeah, I don't know, things I got to consider here. Alright, and I better consider signing off because this is getting way too long. It's going into 15 minutes. So I will catch you in the next. Thanks.